Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I'm going to be ranking every deck in the Pokemon TCG standard format. And when I say every deck, I mean all the decks that are either good or interesting. If there's a deck not on this list, leave it down below in the comment section. I can say whether or not, like sometimes I forget a deck. A lot of times, though, the deck's isn't there because it's bad. So yeah, if a deck's on this tier list, it's probably in D or F tier. It's not necessarily like these decks are better than all the decks not on the list, but for the most part, that's true here. Also, this is obviously it's not just based on statistics. If that was the case, then there wouldn't be any point in this video, right? The whole point is it's kind of subjective, but I will be explaining my reasoning. So if you have any confusion about a specific ranking, then I will explain it. But if you have any other questions, then just ask. And also, while you're down below there, make sure you subscribe and like. But let's just hop right in here. And there, as I said, is no F tier here because I think all the decks on this list are better than that. This is also, I was like looking through my files and I saw that I had already grouped together a bunch of cards for the Mega Evolution meta. So there are some decks that I probably wouldn't include here that I included previously, so that's why they're here. But anyways, I'll just go in order here, I guess. And the first deck is Elgyem. This is Control, Pidgeot Control. I chose to describe it as Elgyem here. Ultimately, this deck I've played with a little bit. I've seen like essentially never. Am I also tell me down below in the comments? Am I like the only person who never sees control? I feel like I never see it except for like the simpler control decks, like the new Absol deck and is there another one? I mean, there's like stall decks like Crustle. I see those, but I don't see Pidgeot control essentially ever. The deck's pretty complicated. I played it a little bit. It's all right. I haven't played enough to really get a firm ranking as well as I like, but I have a better idea than I have in the past. I'd say it's a obviously it's kind of hard, so hard to play, so that definitely makes it worse for the average player there. And it's like kind of it's obviously very countery. So if your opponent's not playing a super meta deck, you might struggle. Or if they're playing like things can be you can have issues here. It like kind of in my opinion works better in open list tournaments, which most play isn't in open list. But anyways, I'll put it in B tier. I think is fine. B tier is fine. Ultimately, it's a tier where the decks are like decent. You're not playing a bad deck, but you're not playing a true top deck either. There's not going to be that many S tier decks. I don't think. I don't know. We'll see how many there are. Then we go Cynthia's. I haven't actually played Cynthia's that much. I played it right when it came out, and it felt super good. And every time I played against it, it's also felt super good. Cynthia's, what is this list? Okay, not this list, but a list like kind of like this, with the stadium and a lot of new pieces here. I really like it. I think the new pieces for the deck are just amazing. In playing them so far, and Cynthia's, I really liked it before this format. Not loved, but liked. And I think it's super good. I think it is in the top tier. Maybe I don't know. I say I haven't played it quite enough or played against it quite enough, but it feels really, really good. It feels like it's like very much able to contend with the top decks. It has a ton of HP, and it's only a two prizer, right? We see three prizers with less HP, and it's very good. It's like amazing stats. It's the best raw stats in the game. I think I don't know exactly how you define that, but it has the most HP. Um, Normally, you can have more Pokemon with more HP, but you won't really see those. And it does a lot of damage. It can like one shot anything with Roserade and Premium Power Pro. Actually, can it one shot itself? I'm not sure. I mean, depending how many you play, you certainly can. So ultimately, it's very strong. It has pretty good search. It's pretty simple. But it is good in my experience, and so I think it's a very, very good deck here. And the decks will be ranked within tiers, but don't worry about that too much. More so, what matters is the tier that they're in. Then we have Alexam. I think Alexam is not super good. It's been played a bunch. I see it a lot. It's okay. Also, people run like enriching energy, which can be good with the Dunsparce, but I feel like if you like with the deck, you're not gonna have lots of extra attachments. You'll have like one. So, so I don't actually know how good it is. I've seen people play it like a lot, but I haven't seen people get a lot of value out of it very consistently. But it is fun. Ultimately, the deck as a whole, like Misak criteria as well, being not insanely good, but being pretty fun here. Ultimately, I don't really like Togekiss, but it definitely, I imagine, helps with the deck. I haven't really seen it played in my games or with it or against it, but I assume it's pretty good there. Um, the deck's like decently, I mean, it's very powerful. It requires a bunch of setup, and Iono is like bad for you. Yes, you can kind of recover, but you're not like fully recovering. Going from like a 20 card hand to a 2 card hand is obviously bad. But ultimately, it's a cool deck. It's an okay deck. I'm gonna put it in. I don't know. I want to put it in like B or C tier. I really don't think it's particularly impressive. I don't think it's terrible. I mean, for a single price deck, it's pretty good. I'll put it in B tier. I think it's one of the better, if not the best, single price decks in the game. I'm ignoring Crustle. Crustle's pretty good, but that's pretty different there. And then we have the next deck here, though. This is Absol. This deck is kind of interesting. It's definitely like, it's coming up. It was last time I checked, I think it was somewhere around like the 30s or something like that. And now it's all the way up to deck 16 grouped. I don't know where it is when not grouped. It is no, it's pretty close. But regardless, this deck is pretty interesting. I played it. It felt okay when I played it. It didn't feel like crazy when I played it. It performed very well at some big tournaments recently. I think it has to do more so with the people playing it who are very talented instead of the deck being like super good. Um, but regardless, the deck is pretty good. Also, Mega Absol is the Pokemon representing it. Mega Absol is not the most important card in the deck, I don't think. It's like a stally control deck. I mean, I recently covered it on the channel if you're not familiar, and kind of talked about it there and stuff. But ultimately, it's an interesting deck here. I do feel like it has some energy issues. I complained about that with decks like Joltik. I feel like it has some of the same issues in this deck. It tries to do some things that are a little fancy, but don't quite work out all the time, like Monkey Dory. Um, it can work in the deck, but it's not going to be working all the time. But it can, you do have like Energy Switch and certain ways to like get it going, to really punish your opponent for certain plays. But ultimately, you are punishing them for plays. They often do have ways around it. The control elements are okay. I don't think this deck is super good. Ultimately, it's going to take some time for it to settle down, figure out its place in the game. I said it was like down here a while ago, or like a week ago, and it's been played a lot more, but also its win rate in being played more has dropped. So we're gonna see it kind of even out at some point. I think it'll probably be near the like tail end of the top 10. Like I'd say like a fringe top. I'd say it'll probably be top 10, but not amazing here. I'd say it's not amazing as in like super super good. I'm kind of saying I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's pretty good. But maybe it's I'm thinking between. I think I'll put it in A tier. I think it's a cool deck. It has some powerful tools. It's a simple control deck or complicated stall deck, and it has elements of both there. Not that all control decks are complicated and all stall decks are simple, but generally that's true from what we've seen. Ultimately, it's a cool deck here. It's kind of complicated to play, which again I said is like an issue for like true control, but it's not that complicated. And yeah, I mean it has useful pieces. The megas giving up 3 prizes can be really bad, and you don't have a ton of ways to capitalize on it. You're not like a super like a deck super focused on getting behind on prizes and capitalizing on that. You have like 3 Ionas and 1 counter catcher. But it is a cool deck. It's a pretty decent deck here. It hits Gardevoir for weakness, which is like good, but Gardevoir is good. I don't think Gardevoir is absurdly good. We'll kind of talk about it, but it's not like a deck where you can be like, oh, I'll beat that, and that's it, right? That's not really quite enough there. And you don't even necessarily trade amazingly. But anyways, the deck's pretty cool here, and pretty decent. Then we have Mega Kangaskhan. Mega Kangaskhan is probably the main Pokemon in the Mega Absol deck, but I'm talking about Mega Kangaskhan. This deck here, there's a few different builds of it. This one has like Fortress. This is a very give a prizes focused deck with like lots of Ionos. Ultimately, and 4 counter catches as well. Ultimately, this deck, I don't know if it's super good. I think it's bad. If I had to guess, not like horrendously bad, but I mean, giving up a bunch of prizes is not good. In general, that you're going to be very vulnerable there. You have decent disruption. You have like decent damage and stuff. You have the other build with this build here with like Bouffalant and stuff for tankiness, but there are a lot of strong one-shotting decks in the format as well. Ultimately, I think Mega Kangaskhan, unfortunately, isn't quite enough for its own deck. I think it's like okay. I don't think it's a terrible deck here, but I don't think it's super impressive. Yeah, I'll put it in C tier. I'm not super confident on that. I could like bring it up a little or maybe drop one of these decks here. I'm not sure. I think they're decently close together. But Mega Kangaskhan is not super powerful on its own. As an attacking option, it's okay. It has a lot of HP, which is impressive. But a lot of HP on its own isn't going to be winning you games, and your damage is at the minimum. It's like not that good. It is inconsistent. It can be doing really a lot of damage there, which can be powerful. But that's just a coin flip, right? So it's decent. It's not super good though. It's kind of it might be below decent here. Then we have the next deck, which is Hydrapple, which is I think the last deck I added to this list here. Hydrapple, I haven't really messed with or seen people play on ladder. I've heard a little bit of talk about it. I guess I'll talk about Venusaur as well here. They have similarities. They're not like the same deck, but they definitely have similarities. I think Mega Venusaur is a bit better here. I don't think Mega Venusaur is super good. I like recently saw a video. Someone was like, "Yeah, people were hyping up Mega Venusaur like a lot before the set," and I was just like, "What? I don't think that's quite true." They said it was like being overhyped or played, sorry, hyped more than Kangaskhan in terms of like how good people thought, and I feel like that's I feel like Mega Venusaur was kind of obviously not super good. And same thing with Hydrapple, right? Ultimately, these Stage 2 grass Pokemon just generally aren't very good, unfortunately. We've seen a lot of them over the years, and they're generally not that good. The new stadium obviously helps. Hydrapple is a big explosive deck, but it does have tankiness over some of the big one-shotting decks, but that's all it has. It's like slower and less consistent. So Hydrapple's like all right, but like I don't know. I'm gonna put it in C tier here. And then Mega Venusaur is kind of cool with tanky stuff it can do. It can like take a lot of damage and like heal it off pretty easily. It has some versatility, but it doesn't have an absurd amount of versatility. Its versatility tied to like a bunch of stage twos. Yes, the stage twos don't need rare candy; they need a stadium, so they actually need more pieces. But they are kind of like bounce back if your stage two gets knocked out. You can get back in the game easier. But overall, I feel like it's okay. I'm gonna put it in C tier, right next to Hydrapple, I guess. I do think it is better, but I don't think it's a particularly good deck. It's played the 11th most played deck in the game. Um, I don't think it's the 11th best deck in the game though, certainly. Then we have Enzorg, a deck that I repeatedly underrate because I feel like it's kind of boring and uninspiring. Paired with Crustle, wait a second, I need to take a look at the Crustle decks. Crustle is this one's not paired with Zorg. Is it I'm trying to think how the decks are categorized. So this obviously has Crustle elements, but it has Ends elements as well. Ultimately, it's okay. I'll put it in like the top of B tier. I think it's nothing spectacular, but I think it's a fine deck. I've kind of had similar thoughts the whole time it's been in standard, where it's like okay, obviously it has like pretty good draw. It's not Pidgeot EX searching out a card every turn, but it is drawing a bunch of cards, seeing a bunch of cards. You have like good HP, decent damage. So it's like your huge damage is from Powerful Rage, which is not going to be very consistent here. Then you do have like Munkidori, you have Crustle, that's like good for defensive stuff. Crustle is good. I guess I'll talk about Crustle now as well. I haven't seen tons of Crustle, but I've definitely seen some Crustle. We see like some control elements. I mean, we see Ethan Sudowoodo. We see another stall option here with the Fighting Ogerpon. We see Munkidori. We see Shuckle. Ultimately, I think the deck is pretty decent. I think it's probably better than Ends. I'm gonna put it in just above it though. Above it. There we go. It's not crazy, right? It's not like a super good deck. It's not super versatile. If you want to get Crustle up consistently, you can't do lots of other things, and you can try to do other things, but you know you're not always going to succeed there. So ultimately, it's cool. You know, you're able to not, well, I don't know if it's cool. It's like damage, like, or what it can do is decent. Not necessarily super interesting, right? It's a pretty straightforward deck, pretty boring. But you know, it's able to wall off a lot of the top decks. Not like all the top decks. Most decks do have like a way around it, especially if you're looking at something like Gardevoir. You know, like what are your options? They're kind of meh. But regardless, actually, I'm gonna check about the win rate on that one. Yeah, your Gardevoir matchups are really bad. I was like thinking it was bad in my head. It seemed bad, and yeah, this is rough. And Gardevoir is good, as I said. Gardevoir's not like a deck that an auto win is gonna mean your deck's super good, or an auto loss means your deck's not playable. And this isn't an auto loss. I mean, this is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like last format, I played Goldengo. And Goldengo apparently against Ethan's has a win rate of 23. This matchup's like an auto loss. I don't know how people are winning it 23 or 24% of the time. But regardless, oh, I should not have clicked back there. But regardless, Gardevoir against Crustle is bad. This is like pretty close to an auto loss. The sample size is like kind of small, but that's bad. And there are a lot of decks with different single prize attacking options, and yeah, not too much you can do there. The deck's it's okay though. Long story short, Then we have Archaludon. Archaludon's interesting. I haven't seen too much Archaludon this format. Archaludon does have what is it? The new there's a new stadium with like the Monkey Dory stuff, but I don't know how good that is. It seems really sketchy to me. You know me, I don't love Monkey Dory in decks where it doesn't slot very easily into. Monkey Dory I think is mostly here for the damage because you don't necessarily always do quite enough damage, but the healing aspect is kind of underwhelming. The getting damage on your board is kind of clunky with the new stadium. It does get damage on your opponent's board, which can be cool, but your opponent can bump it. Mega Mawile is cool, but it's not like amazing. It is decently strong, but it's not a Pokemon that can do that much on its own. You don't really want to be attacking with it repeatedly. It's less HP than the Archaludon, and it's a Pokemon with more, that gives them more prizes. It is stronger, which is cool. It has a place within the deck, but it's definitely not a super good deck here. Kind of reliant on targeting down Pokemon like Fez and Squawkabilly and stuff. And so we can do that, and it can be good, but it's not going to be the best deck at what it's really. I mean, that's a pretty basic game plan. I was going to say at what it's trying to do. Pretty much like most decks in the game are kind of trying to go after those Pokemon. So it is pretty mediocre. I don't think it's bad. I'll put it here in between. I mean, I don't think it's good. I'll put it in between the grass stage twos. It's very mediocre in a bad sense there. Then we have Mega Lucario. Mega Lucario, I've been seeing less of on the ladder finally, but it's okay. I mean, it's all right. I think it is better than Mega Venusaur in terms of some of the very exciting megas with some really big things they can do, but it's not super spectacular. The fighting stuff, Lunatone and Solrock is so good. It's like they're some of the best single parts in the game. They're super good. Hariyama's okay. It's not amazing, I'd say, in terms of like those gusting stage ones. It's in the middle. It's not like in Rock, but it's probably better than Umbreon. I don't know. Umbreon VMAX was like pretty all right. But it was not spectacular. But Hariyama is pretty cool here. I guess it's better than Hops. That's the one that I was thinking. That's like Hops Double, which isn't like very played. Hariyama is a big attacking option. And yeah, I mean the deck has a lot of cool stuff. I've talked about fighting a lot in the past. You obviously have the good support. You have three of the best new cards: Lunatone, Fighting Gong, and Premium Power Pro, which are all very, very good cards in the deck. And Solrock's quite good as well. Yeah, I think it might even be overhyped now. Like Solrock isn't absurd, 70 for one is like Fan Rotom. It's like a little better than Fan Rotom in some situations. It can be worse. Obviously, it doesn't have the ability there, but you need it as well. Ultimately, this deck, long story short, is okay. I'll probably put it in C tier, right above Mega Kangaskhan. In this clump of mediocre megas here. As we can see, the Megas aren't that good. Mega Absol as a deck, like the Mega Absol Control Box deck, is like pretty decent, but Mega Absol itself isn't amazing. Mega Kangaskhan is pretty good in the deck, but like really, I feel like the Fighting Ogerpon's super good, Evolto's super good. Monkey Dory is definitely very important in that deck as well, or it's like moderately important. Ultimately, this card is, or like these cards are obviously not three prizers, and they're very important to the deck. So three prizers are kind of not very good. Mega Absol again isn't like a true three prize deck. I guess it kind of is. And then we have the electric generator deck. This is it's like Miraidon, but it also includes where is it? Mega Electric and stuff like that. I haven't seen too much from this deck, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen a little bit from it. It's very mediocre. As in like bad mediocre. I'm gonna put it in D tier, below Archaludon, I guess. I don't know. It's just kind of this clump of decks. As I said, within the tiers, the ordering doesn't matter too much. I will say I think maybe Mega Lucario could go up a tier, and maybe Mega Kangaskhan there. But ultimately, this deck is not super impressive. The things it does is okay, but it's certainly not super impressive. Mega Electric's very mediocre, kind of like I was expecting it to be. I heard a lot of people before the set came out like hyping this up. Not like a ton, but more than I was by a lot. And yeah, I feel like my rating was pretty fair there. I guess speaking of ratings, I should probably talk about Mega Camerupt. I think Mega Camerupt is better than people are playing it like right now. Like I was looking, and his win rate is horrendous. Win rate isn't everything, but it is really bad here. And then I looked at the list, and the lists are like super weird. And playing cards. Okay, yeah, this one is kind of interesting. Playing Metacham EX, but I don't know if that's good. It definitely seems like you're overcomplicating things. Actually, I think it's bad. And then like this list here, is playing Zerozik's Machinations, which I don't know why this is here. Is it here for like Alakazam? I don't know. That seems kind of silly. Why are you like teching against Alakazam? There's a lot of weird and janky stuff in this list. And then this list here, list is playing like Lieutenant Surge's Bargain. Like these lists are all like playing weird cards that don't seem very good. So I feel like Mega Camera, if people had like, obviously at the most recent at very recent tournaments we saw for example, the Absol deck. I think if all the people who played Mega Absol had instead played Mega Camera, we'd be saying like, oh, Mega Camera's like a at least top 20 deck. Long story short, I think it's better than it appears. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's a pretty simple, pretty all right deck. In this Mega territory here, I'll actually put it like down. I'll put it here. I'll put it next to all the megas, I guess. It's all right. I do believe that it's okay. I don't think it's a terrible deck. I made a video, or did I make a video? I don't know if I did, but if I didn't, ask me down below for the list, and then I'll give it to you. You can try it out. It's like okay. It's not a super good deck. I'm not gonna sit here and say that, but it's okay. Then we have we're getting to some better decks here. We got Dragapult. Dragapult is very good still. Dragapult EX is a very good card. Dusknoir is still very good. There is the Psyduck, but the Psyduck's a little vulnerable to Dragapult, so I don't think it's the end of the world or anything like that. Speaking of, there is the new stadium, which is also like a counter to Dragapult and Dusknoir. Again, I don't think it's the end of the world there. Ultimately, Dragapult is still very good. I'm gonna put it in S tier still. I think it's a top deck still in my opinion, and I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's as good as it was last format. I guess I don't know. I think it's still very very good though. And speaking of the top decks, we got Gardevoir. I think Gardevoir is, I'll stick behind behind Cynthia's being like super crazy good. I really like Cynthia's, but yeah, Gardevoir is like super good as well. The new stuff is moderately useful for it. It's not as useful as I thought it was going to be. Specifically, the stadium. I thought the stadium was going to be like absurdly good. I haven't really messed with it because I don't really care about Gardevoir. I'm not gonna lie. As in like I don't know, it's just not my kind of deck. But ultimately, yeah, I mean the new stuff is like good for it. It's not absurd as I said, but it is pretty good. You got like Lilies, which is good. Obviously it's good for a lot of decks, but it is quite good for Gardevoir. And yeah, I mean Gardevoir is still very good. What it does is good. It's able to take big knockouts with single prizers. And it has versatility. It has power. And yeah, it's a very good deck here. And that's all there is to say about it. Then we have Marnie's. Yet again, I don't think Marnie's is super good. I would not put it. I don't know. I was gonna say not top five. I would not put it top tier. I don't think it's top five. I'll put it in. I'm playing with and against it this format. I mean, it feels like it's always been. Like it feels all right. It doesn't feel absurd. The Munkidori stuff is good, but it is a little clunky. You don't have a ton of extra energies, and with Frostlight, like you're getting extra damage, but you're not super tanky. You have some cool things you can do, but ultimately, I think it's decent. I'll put it at the bottom of A tier here. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's in this like clump of decks. It's like decent with like Mega Absol box or whatever with Crustle. It's okay. It's not crazy good, but it's decent. Then we have Ethan's. I think Ethan's is bad. I've not seen it this format. I don't think it's horrendous, but I can't imagine it's very good. I guess I'll put it at the top of C tier. It's a playable deck if you want to do that. It's not the best single prize deck, so I don't think there's really much reason to play it. I imagine the people who are playing it are now playing Alakazam, but it's okay. Then we have two Terra Stage 1 Fire EXs here, or Stellar, I should say. And I guess Flareon's okay. I haven't really seen much from Flareon. Also, it's being like kind of tossed in Terra Box, right? But anyways, this is not that deck. Terra Box. I guess we'll talk about Terra Box and Flareon together. Terra Box is pretty cool this format. Still like versatile, powerful, whatever. I'm gonna put it in honestly A tier. I really do like it. I like things it can do. Obviously, Wellspring Master Ogre Pontiacs is like still a good option if your opponent's not playing Shaman, and you have a lot of different options which are all pretty decent here. It's kind of there's a lot of stuff going on, right? I mean, look at this. It doesn't even fit on one page. That's kind of crazy. That's not something you really see in standard, but it's a pretty good deck here. And then you have Flareon. Flareon is like worse in my opinion. Just like a worse Terra Box. I've said this for a while and I stand by it. And yeah, it's not terrible though. I'll put it I'll put it at the top of B tier. It's all right, but not amazing here. Then though the most interesting deck in my opinion, well I don't know, the biggest riser here, the one I didn't expect to be amazing, which I don't know if it's like amazing, but it's pretty good. It's Sacrilege here. I'll toss in Goldango and I'll toss in Raging Bolt into the discussion as well. This is like big one-shotting decks. Sacrilege is good. It's like pretty simple, straightforward, but it's good. I'm gonna put it in at the top of A for now here. I'll put Goldango above it. Goldango can get knockouts that Sacrilege just can't always get, which is why I like it a little more. It has a lot of things going on, and it is vulnerable to Toedscool. Goldango, not Sacrilege as much, but or at all, I guess, in this list. And yeah, I mean, it's a cool deck. Sacrilege and Goldango. I like both of them. They're these big stage one, big as in big damage stage ones. Not doing anything super crazy, but I do like them. They get the job done pretty consistently here, a bit more than Raging Bolt, which Raging Bolt it's like fallen off a good amount since last format. I think it's still good. I think it's still very clearly top 10. I think it's arguably top 5. I'd put it deck 6. I was gonna say, what's the deck in the top 5 that I don't have? Oh, and Charizard's also above it. But yeah, I think Marnie's is obviously, I'm not the biggest fan of Marnie's. I'll put Raging Bolt right here. Again, these three big one-shotting decks right next to each other. They're pretty fun. Going for, big knockouts. They're not too, I don't know, they have things going on. You need to play a bunch of cards, but you can get there. They all have like a draw kind of built in, pretty decent engines. So yeah, I mean, I like all of them. I think they're still very good. With the megas, people are playing the megas. Taking big knockouts is really good against them. It's good against any deck, right? But against the megas, it's like so good. Like the megas can essentially never win if you're taking a one shot every turn, because they'll always trade negatively. So then even if they get the first knockout or they disrupt you a little, well, if they disrupt you, but you're able to recover from it, then you're fine. I suppose in that situation, the disruption didn't work. So if they have crazy disruption, you can't recover, but you might not be able to recover. But I think the disruption in the Mega decks is kind of meh. I mean, obviously the Mega decks aren't that good. Even the Absol deck, I don't think is like, it's not just Megas, and it's not absurdly good either. But regardless, definitely pretty good decks here. Then we have Charizard. Charizard is good. I'll put it right below the one-shotting decks. It's still doing Charizard things. It's consistent. It has some options, but it doesn't have crazy options. But it's good. It does what it wants to do. Kind of like Cynthia's, right? It works pretty well here. I like the deck, but I'm not in love with it either. Then we have Joltik as the last deck here. Joltik, which I always underrate, but now it's deck 20, so I'm not gonna be underrating it compared to where other people have it. I think it's all right. I like it more with Goldango, which is actually grouped in with Goldango now that I think about it. So that deck is 18. So if we put them together, then it's at like 2%, like 1.5, something like that. So then it would actually be, it's not even that much higher. Regardless, Joltik with Goldango, I do like. I think it's the best way to play Joltik box. I think it's more of a Joltik box than a Goldango deck, but regardless, yeah, I mean it's all right. You kind of have energy issues, which is again why I like Goldango, because it's easier to set up in terms of energy on your board. Crispin can kind of get you there, but it's not going to get you all the way there. But long story short, the deck's all right. It's not amazing. It's going to be in B tier here as like a decent but not super good deck here. But tell me down below in the comment section what your thoughts are on this list. Any cards you'd change here, or decks, I guess. They're all represented by one card. And I have nothing in D tier. I should probably move some stuff to D tier. Probably Hydrapple. Yeah, sorry, Hydrapple fans. Hydrapple is bad. It's not horrendously bad, but it's not very good. I don't know. Probably doesn't deserve to be in D tier, but it looks better, so I'll just leave it here. The ranking stuff I said about it, all the same. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the good stuff. And as Osmond said, see you in the next video.